I'm gonna talk about what we saw last class. Last class, we saw ethics in international business. Um, as a broad or general definition, ethics in international business are the principles of doing right or doing wrong. Um, One way of seeing ethics is in the conduct of the person, the members, or the organization. How they are working, how are they planning, how do they plan to compete with others, how do they plan to reduce their costs, to innovate, or how do they act in a way of becoming better. We also saw ethical strategies that companies do, and this means that the way companies plan or develop plans in order to become better or increase their profits. As well, we saw that in these strategies there can be ethical dilemmas in which there are ethical limits that a company has to take in consideration before acting in order to prevent damaging the environment or taking advantage of needed people. Uh, as an example of these ethical dilemmas, we saw infrastructure, human rights, and tragedy of the common, as well as corruption. In infrastructure, we saw an example, a video of a building falling, in which one of the brands that are mentioned was Joe from Canada, and the problem was that the government or the company in charge of the building didn't took the consideration of rebuilding or taking care of or investing in the building, and the cost of this was the falling and the killing of many other people that were working. On human rights, well, we saw a video of Apple with Chinese people or Korean, and the problem was that Apple took advantage of these people who needed the jobs, and they make them work a lot of hours. They said their legs got hard and they couldn't walk. Some people tried to suicide and like that. On Tragedy of the Common, we saw a quick video of like people growing farms and destroying the environment. I didn't care about it. And also there was an example that we talked about in class about people destroying the environment in order to get money. On corruption, well, people bribe other people. We also saw an example in class in which they bribe the authorities in order to prevent taxes or in order to to pass exams about their infrastructure, about how they treat people, and like that. Mm, we also talked about personal ethics, decision-making process, organization culture, unrealistic performance goals, and leadership. As an example in leadership, it is like if the leader is unethical, the ones below him will act unethical, such as the managers. If the boss is unethical, the one beneath it will be, and like that. So all the hierarchy will be damaged. On unrealistic performance goals, it is like the manager encourages people to work even more than they can, and due to this, people have to work on an unethical way in order to achieve those goals. At last, on organizational culture, the Miss told us an example of her work in which she saw the way other people acted, how they treated each other, and that unethical behavior affects all the company itself.